Hello everybody and welcome to the crypto session brief. We're also going to cover US markets in today's brief just because we're getting around to it a little bit later than we usually would, and we're only just over an hour and a half off the New York Open. So and also cryptos are pretty quiet today, so I don't really have too much to talk about. One of the main markets that I want to talk about though with in the crypto space is Bitcoin today. Why is that? That's because we've come down into one of my key handles that I've been discussing on these briefs. After the few lower closes in a row, I said, okay, well, from here, let's see if we can get down to 27. That looks like a good profit-taking zone for the bears and for sellers. And we've seen a pause there. We can see on Thursday, Friday, then the weekend, started to see a bit of consolidation. You got the inside bar on the Thursday, inside bar over the weekend, all the trading of the weekend in between the previous in between Friday's bar, and then today so far we've been able to see the market hold just above 27 so far, bounced off there, also rejected higher, so trading pretty flat on the day overall. We're also into the 50-day moving average, as you can see the red moving average on my charts here. And it's pretty apparent why this level and area is going to be key for the day, for the week ahead, really. If we do break below here, we'll be piercing the moving average and probably looking for a move down at least into even 25 from there. So another 2,000 points I think we could knock off if we do break below 27. Or alternatively, bears will be looking at this particular level here and thinking, okay, is this a good buying zone? And looking to maybe build some new longs. As it could be a nice area to be looking for a higher low print. You've had a big one there since the lows. Another big one here at the 50-27 round number could make sense. Ethereum has seen a slight pause as well after it faded its entire gains from the Shanghai upgrade news back to basically where we were, back underneath the ascending trend line, and 1850 is looking quite key for me for this session and for the week ahead. I can see that being the line in the sand for today and even the week. If we can hold above here, okay, like Bitcoin, we can look to put in a higher low. I'm favouring some more downside on this market, back down into even 1790. Purely from a technical perspective, I'd like to see it retest this particular level, and you can see how important that high was there in September of last year. Ripple has found some support of its own around 0.4445. This is a level that we've discussed on these briefs quite specifically for a short while. It's been in my downside and upside breaks for a short while too, and you can see we've come into there on Thursday, I think it was, or even Wednesday last week. Found a bounce and now back to trade just above that particular level. And you can see the sort of pattern that we could be looking to put in there after the double top, if you want to call it that, triple top, whatever. You can see we're just trading lower, but if we can't hold at 0.4445, then we go back down into where we were trading for that range between 0.4445 and down at the 0.3345s. So it's quite a big level as well for Ripple, I would say, moving forward. Litecoin 88 almost, looking for a move back into 91.60 and then even to 95. But again, that sort of downside pressure looks quite intense, and despite the bounce in the past 24 hours or so, I'd still be favouring shorts and maybe even jumping back into this little rally that we've seen back down into 81.50. Moving on, let's have a look at the US markets. We've seen a bit of movement so far in the dollar yen. We've got a big week for earnings in the US with over 180 companies reporting this week, including most of big tech. Could that be also playing into the hands of movements in cryptos? Possibly. We've seen that correlation in the past, albeit it has broken somewhat recently. We've got PCE coming out on Friday as well, so it looks like an exciting week ahead. S&P was ticking down slightly, albeit on the last hour or so we've just notched higher again, so almost flat on the day I think now. US equities did end lower last week, okay, not by much. Gold was up slightly, but then again that's just gone flat on the day, so nothing exciting really to report there. I posted this chart inside the chat earlier today, and this is something that you can go back and revisit the European session brief from this morning right at the end of the brief, because I won't repeat myself now. But it was an interesting chart showing that gold is possibly at a premium as where real rates and the dollar say it should be. So you can see this correlation here. And without going into the details and specifics, gold price is the blue. Predicted gold price here is the white, and this has been quite a tight correlation now for some time, but it's just broken, as you can see here, probably resultant of this banking crisis that we've had. So the suggestion basically is, long story short, that we could be looking for moves lower from here. We have also rejected off the top side of this channel, and we could start trading lower, at least back down into 1950 in the short term. Dollar yen is on the move higher today, so some flow back into the dollar, but out of the yen as well. 135.30 is that big overhead level for me on here. That's where we'll also meet the rising channel top around about there as well. Oil, after a tumultuous week last week, a lot of volatility to the downside. 77.63 is where we're currently at. 76.20 is my sort of line in the sand for the week ahead. Below there, we move back down into 72.50. That's where my bias will be, but we remain above here. My bias remains to the upside for a bounce and a move and a retest back of that 80 level. Just bringing you up to speed with what else we've seen in the rest of the world's trade today. Bank of Japan Governor Ueda told Parliament today that the central bank's stance is to continue with stimulus in its price outlook. His first meeting is the end of this week, so that's why we've seen a bit of weakness in the yen today. Asian equities ended quite mixed. Australia was slightly lower, modest gains in Japan and Taiwan. The HK tech stocks and internet consumer names took another leg down. That sent the Hang Seng to below 20k. European markets, they've been trading low in a narrow range. The latest German IFO business climate survey showed further improvement in business conditions, with headline at 93.6 versus a prior 93.2. Bank of England Deputy Governor Ramsden has warned of the risk of high inflation becoming embedded after last week's price data did not ease as far as expected. The Bed Bath & Beyond files chapter, the company the Bed Bath & Beyond, they've filed chapter 11 bankruptcy. Stores are to remain open as it winds down operations. The company is trying to look for buyers to sell off some of their assets. Coca-Cola is reporting Q1 EPS $0.68 ex items. You can read more about that if you are interested in Coca-Cola's earnings online. In terms of data releases today, there's not much out of the US, to be honest. Like I said, just some earnings. We've got Crown, Coca-Cola, who I've just mentioned. But apart from that, no major releases, it must be said. So we'll see where markets trade today. You can see the euro just making a move higher against the dollar. FTSE still flat. DAX looking to break last week's highs. That's the state of play as we enter the US session. Cryptos discussed, and yeah, I'll leave it there for today. Take care, thanks, and bye for now.